Hey everybody, Aaron Blaise here, and it is Friday again. It's October 15th, and we are back again for another live drawing session. We're going to do traditional drawing today. I felt like, I think the last time we did some live traditional drawing, I got my sketchbook and did some ink drawing. I thought it'd be fun to do some charcoal today. I haven't done any charcoal in a while, and Dustin has this really great shot of this leopard that I thought would be a lot of fun to do in charcoal. And I want to do kind of loose and energetic and see what we can do with that. So that's what we're doing today. I hope you enjoy it. We got Nick Birch with us today. He's sitting right there, right behind the camera.
Hi.
I can see him. And we got Dustin over here.
Hi.
Yes. And so what are some of the sales we got? I can't, because my brain is going blank. So we've got the Inktober sale going on, right, Nick?
Yeah, we have 30% off our Inktober course.
30% off the Inktober course.
Our pen and ink course, and also 30% off all animal drawing lessons this weekend.
There you go, because I could not remember what was going on.
All animal drawing lessons and photo packs, actually. So.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Photo packs, too. And Dustin's going to be pulling together an Africa photo pack for those of you that have been asking. Yes, he is going to be doing it.
So close. It's almost there. All I need to do is just renumber, and group up all the species together from all the days, just all together.
Yeah.
And then weed out all the bad ones, and then Dad and Nick review them.
Yeah, it's only going to be about 20 photos.
No, I thought it was going to be just the one. I'm just looking for the one photo.
Yeah, the one.
No, but there's going to be lots. There's so many more that I took than Montana alone. So
Just realized I got stains on my shelf right here. This is my shelf. Got it.
Your
Can
shelf.
you see that stain right there?
Oh yeah, you see the dot.
Yep. Syrup.
Syrup.
It's syrup.
Syrup.
It's maple syrup. Anyway, so I want to do, down the road too, we're putting together a video that we're going to document. We documented our whole trip, obviously, to Africa. We got so much footage that we're downloading, and we're going to be cutting into a little mini documentary. And we're going to be finishing it off with this giant painting. Well, not giant, but I'm doing a watercolor, probably the size of this table. And it's going to be kind of the video will kind of encompass our trip there and everything that it takes to get the material in order to do these paintings. And so I'm really excited to share that with you guys as well. It's going to be a lot of fun. And that's something we're working on, along with a new course on a new animation course I'm working on. You guys may have seen this penguin that I've been sharing on social media. That's part of the course. I'll tell you more about the course in the coming weeks, but it's going to be a lot of fun. It's more of an advanced course. So some of you more established animators out there hopefully will get, and actually, guys that are animators that are just kind of on the up and coming, I think you can get something out of it as well. But let's go ahead and just dive in rather than continuing to run my mouth, because I could do that all day.
Let's get the show on the road.
Yes.
Yeah.
So one of the ways I like to start with charcoal, first, the material that I'm drawing on is just regular mat board, like you can buy at any art supply store where it's literally mat board that you mat drawings and paintings with. I find that it takes charcoal really well, and so I like to draw on it. And I always start really loose. I start with vine charcoal on the mat board, and you'll notice that the mat board is toned, just like I like to work with on my sketchbooks.
Oh, wait a second. We've got news since last week.
We've got news.
Because a lot of people just...
We do have news since last week.
Yeah, a lot of people were just saying congratulations in the chat. And
right.
You, so.
You're right. I just dove right in. Vedanta's going to be very upset with me.
We're going, what the?
Yeah, so between...
it was Vedanta's birthday last week.
It was Vedanta's birthday on Friday, and so we went out, and I've been scheming for a while, and I got
Not even I knew. Nobody really knew.
Nobody knew. And I proposed, yes, Nick knew. I proposed to Vedanta last Friday, and she said yes. So we are now engaged to be married sometime in the next year or so. we're actually shooting for October of next year, so we got about a year, and which is great. So it gives me time to lose about 50 pounds. So, but yeah, so we are officially engaged. So what I'm doing here,
I'm back to drawing.
I'm back to drawing, and I want to keep this. I want to do this kind of loose, and I love this pose that Dustin got. And I'm just going to kind of let it fade off. I'm not going to worry about proportion as far as getting it on the, I'm not worrying about drawing the whole cat.
And Ernest Nataya is back, and he says, watching live from Masai Mara, Kenya.
Who?
Ernest.
Oh, right. Oh, right on. Hey, man.
Remember Ernest? He was, I'm pretty sure he was part of the
yeah.
Jorge's crew.
Well, I'm glad you're watching. And this is one of the leopards, or the leopard that we shot. Well, no, he didn't shoot, but we photographed while we were there. Actually, this is a leopard that Dustin photographed while Nick and I stayed back at camp.
Yeah, this leopard just casually just walked from one shade to another, and our driver, Steven, was an amazing driver. Like, he just he knew all the spots, all the positions, and even if there was a spot that he missed, like, he was very good. He was amazing at following, like, us. Like, go over, like, can you go over there? Can you go over there? And he was very cooperative.
Oh, he's awesome.
And yeah, he was an amazing driver.
Unlike our programmer Steven, who's a terrible driver. Terrible driver.
Does he rely on Google Maps like I do?
Actually, did we announce that Steven got married?
No, I don't think we did.
Yeah, while we were in Africa, Steven and his longtime love, Claudia, they got married on September 25th, right?
25th.
Yes,
Yeah, I think
yep.
it was the day or the day before we flew back.
Yep.
Yeah, we weren't able to be there, but September 25th, they were married. So, wedding bells all through the company.
Well,
And
except
the other thing that
Bachelor.
people don't realize, or a lot of people don't realize, is that when Venat and I get married, that'll make Nick and I brother-in-laws because Nick is married to Vedanta's sister.
Yep.
Oh, that's so weird.
How's that showing up on camera?
Looks nice.
It is quite nice.
One thing that you want to do when you're drawing like this too is one thing that you want to do when you're drawing like this too is be a poet and not even know it. But if you get too low when your angle, it'll distort the drawing. So I try to make sure that I'm sitting up high enough. I hope I'm not blocking the because I feel like I'm right at the edge of where I should be. I'd like to be a little higher on it, but matter of fact, I might be able to adjust my chair. Yeah, it did.
Whoa.
That's better. So this is very soft vine charcoal. And the board is really, really relative to other drawing surfaces and painting surfaces. Matte board's pretty cheap.
For those that are interested, we do have a charcoal drawing course on our website as well. Aaron's got two of them actually. You've got a full one, and then you've got sort of an experimenting in charcoal one where you draw on wood.
And wood, yeah, that's right.
I don't
So-
think I got a slap, but that's okay.
So now what you see I'm doing now is I'm just rubbing it back, just getting rid of, I'm toning the board a little bit more, but I'm basically getting rid of that darkness. It's almost like doing a rough sketch digitally, and then knocking back the opacity so that you can do your final sketch over the top. And that's what I'm doing now.
I swear, I always struggle with that word, digitally.
Digitally? Yeah, I know.
It sounds like I'm just tripping all over the place every time I say it.
So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a charcoal pencil, right, like you can see here. And this goes on a little bit more permanently.
YouTube question. Do any of the animals in Africa make noises that you wouldn't expect?
Well, they definitely make noises that will surprise you.
The hippos are obviously the most,
The hippos just make a lot of noise.
and they're loud. I mean, they really do sound like Jabba the Hutt. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, they do.
But it's funny that you would think that a noise like that or like something that loud would be annoying, but I didn't find it annoying at all.
No, not at all. You're absolutely right. I do remember the first time I went to Africa back in 23 years ago. We were sleeping on the Mara River. So I'm going to go a little bit. This pencil's a little harder. It forces me to draw a little harder into the board, so that it'll be a little bit more permanent. But we were sleeping on the river, and I heard a leopard attack a baboon family or a baboon during the night, and I heard the baboon screaming as it was being killed by this leopard, and that was just the most horrific thing to hear in the night as you're sleeping, and it's 100 yards away from you on the other side of the river. You hear this drama taking place.
Yeah, the sound that I find satisfying or interesting is the sound of a zebra. Because when you see a zebra, you're thinking, "Oh, it's a horse," but then but then the sounds it makes is like nothing like a horse.
Those squeaky sounds.
Yeah, it's like that squeaky, and it's just like, how do they make that noise?
Yeah. It's like wood squeaking against itself.
Yeah. Zunji's on here.
Hey, Zunji.
I'm sorry.
And is the
Sorry.
Metboard high cotton rag content? If there is,
I don't know if it's high cotton rag. No, I wouldn't say that. It is acid free though. Go ahead, Nick.
2 questions. One, Dan on YouTube asks, did you ever eat at the Carnivore restaurant in Nairobi?
Yes, a couple. We've been there a couple times. Nick's been there as well.
Yep.
We didn't go this last time. We went to a bit more higher end restaurant this time, but the Carnivore is awesome.
And then Twitch question, what other materials are good to use on mat board?
Oh, you can gouache. Gouache is really great on mat board. We have a lot of guys that used to use gouache because you can start on that tone, and gouache is great for being an opaque watercolor. So also acrylic is good on mat board. Pastel. There's a lot of different materials that are good for that.
From Dan Crothers, have you ever had a dangerous close encounter with any animals in Africa?
You know, when I went the first time, I made the mistake of getting up on our Land Rover and kind of standing up really tall above it. And we had pulled up to a mother lion that had just had cubs the night before. The cubs were tiny, obviously didn't have their eyes open, and our driver, I think, really pushed the limits and got a little too close. So when I pushed myself up, the mother was getting really uneasy, and I really shouldn't have pushed myself up as high as I did. And she all of a sudden saw me as, not part of the Land Rover. The animals see the Land Rovers there, And they really they don't really separate the people inside the Land Rover from the Land Rover. To them, it's like a big elephant, just moving across the plains. So when you separate yourself from it, then all of a sudden you become a separate entity. And that's what happened with me with this mother lion. And as soon as she saw me, I remember seeing her eyes just dilate, and she leapt forward towards me. I was up high, so she wasn't really able to get up to me. But I just remember just panicking, and I jumped up in the air and fell straight into the Land Rover. And then our driver backed out really fast. But I learned my lesson that day.
I'm sure you did.
But it was a dumb move on my part, and the driver shouldn't have let me be up as high as I was.
Did you say pastels work well on?
Yes.
Did you mean? Sorry, this was a follow-up question. I didn't understand what they said. Do you mean oil or chalk pastels?
Chalk, not oil. No, chalk pastels.
Also, from Martinberger, do you use fixatives on your charcoal drawings?
I never use fixatives on my charcoal drawings. Fixatives will discolor your charcoals. They'll discolor them, especially if you have not washed, if you have any kind of oil on your hands it'll transfer onto the board. So I never use any kind of fixative. So I'm very careful that, I don't touch the surface, and I try to get it under glass, under a protective surface as soon as possible. Until then, I just stack them in a closet, and make sure they don't get rubbed against anything. I've got flat files as well, and I lay them in the flat files.
From Manuel Vital, is it true that zebras are more related to donkeys than to horses?
That I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised because that's what they look like.
It's true.
So you can see at this stage, I'm going in and hitting the details. The next stage is a lot of fun because that's where we pull out our light and shadow.
Manuel cracked a joke saying, you had the high ground against the lion.
Yes, I did have the high ground, but it's a lion.
You never underestimate the lion's power.
I could take them.
It's amazing how big they are when you see them in person.
Yeah.
It's so insane.
And and cats are just pure muscle. I mean, that's the thing. It's like
they are. It's insane.
Everything about them is designed to kill.
Yep.
Just,
or endure a beating.
Yeah.
Yeah, it reminds me of the scene that I'll never forget, the snow leopard that
it goes down the mountain.
Tumbles down the mountain like 100 feet.
Yeah.
And still walks out there with no problem. It's just like, how?
Well, it's a testament to both the animals, both the prey and the predator. Because anything else would have been dead after that tumble.
Oh, yeah. I mean, human? Nope. That very first roll, dead.
So what I'm trying to do when I'm doing these quick little swirls in here is I'm looking at the muscle masses, the bones, and I know from my anatomy experience what the muscles are, so I can push it to sit more in my knowledge. Here I know that the shoulder blade is coming down into here, into the shoulder, which is the deltoid muscle right here, and as we come over, we're going to hit the elbow is back here, but all of this mass is tricep muscle. The elbow is actually right here. But this mass right here, that's not the elbow, that's tricep muscle.
From Castra, ever wanted to go to India to see the Bengal tigers?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I've been to Delhi, but I wasn't able to get out into the wilds anywhere near Delhi. But I did go to Chitwan National Park in Nepal, just above the Indian border, and we went out every day on elephant back, and we tracked tigers and Indian rhinos. We found a lot of Indian rhinos, but we only found tiger sign, scratches, scat, footprints. We actually never found a tiger. Yeah, they were scatting like that. Yeah. Exactly.
Erica Bay says, I plan on doing some charcoal next week. Really enjoying this stream.
Oh, right on. How you doing, Erica?
And Abby Lee says, I wish I had more time to watch your stream this week. Just dropping in to say congrats.
Thank you.
Why are left-handed people so good at art?
You know what? There tends to be more left-handed people that are artists than in the general population. But I don't know why that is. It could be because the whole idea of the left brain, right brain thing has kind of been disproven because it is really a blend of both. So I don't really know. It's funny, in my family, pretty much my entire family is artistic. My mother was, my father is, and my brother, I have half brothers and sisters, but my full blood brother is artistic as well.
Travis
Blaise, who you guys will probably know, and all of us, my mother, my father, my brother, and myself, were all left-handed.
Which that seems very unusual.
Yeah, that's pretty unusual. I think we're the only lefties in the rest of the family, because there's out of all the kids, my father's had 5 wives, and has had 9 kids by 4 of them, and so. But I think my brother and I, there might be one more lefty in there. I can't remember. But yeah, we're the only lefties. But like I said, my mother was left-handed as well. All right, so I got a rough sketch in here. Now what I want to do is for those of you that have seen me do this before, you know what's coming next. But I've got a plate right here.
YouTube question. Aaron, how and where can I learn animation from home?
Well, if you go to creatureartteacher.com, I have got an introduction to animation on my site. So what I'm doing now is I'm taking charcoal powder. It's been ground up very fine. You can buy it in a jar. This is Cretacolor charcoal powder. You can buy it in brown, black, different colors. And I use this to rub onto the board, and then we're going to erase away the highlights. But you can go to creatureartteacher.com, and I've got an introduction to animation. I have a course called Acting for Animation. We've got a more advanced course coming out. And I've got walk cycles, four-legged walk for animation. We've got a lot of different things, and start there. And then, there's other sites out there. I used, from a digital standpoint, as far as animating, I work on a Cintiq for my pen display, and then I use TV Paint as my software. So here, I'm just coming in, and I want to keep this pretty simple. I don't want to rub it in too much. If I keep scrubbing it back and forth, it'll rub in too much. So I want to keep this simple. But I also want to get it dark enough that I can erase.
What's the difference between the leopard and jaguar, despite the spots?
Well, location is a big thing. The jaguar is in the New World. The jaguar is North, South, and Central America. I think they may have been a single species. I'm just guessing. Someone else out there might know. Back when the African continent was connected to the South American continent, but I don't know. But the jaguar is a heavier bodied cat. It's the largest cat in the Americas.
My cat's pretty fat. How is the charcoal rubbing like that not affecting the line work?
Well, that's the thing. So when I do the charcoal is very, very soft. The pencil that I put down as my final line, and I'm not sure if you can see it, but you should be able to see a little ghost image of it, is very, very hard. And so when I lay the charcoal over the top of it, it still comes through. Oh, I forgot my... Hey, Dustin.
Yep.
I think my eraser. Is my eraser over by my computer right there? It should be by my keyboard.
Need an eraser?
Yeah, is it by the keyboard? Yep, there it is.
Someone says on Twitch, yeah, I've ruined a couple of pastel drawings with fixative, totally changed the colors, but I found that it works okay if I use just black charcoal.
Yeah, but sometimes it'll make it look even better. So, there's that.
But you tend to use black and white, and it dissolves the white, right? Isn't that part of the problem?
Yeah.
Dulls down the white.
I was going to say, it'll push the contrast with black, but it kills the white.
Did you ever go into the animation research library at Disney, or was your schedule too busy?
No, I actually went there
many
times. And just want to get this shadow right. I pulled out some really cool stuff, original Bambi backgrounds and... Hold on, sorry. Can't breathe. Original Bambi backgrounds, Pinocchio backgrounds, and animation. But I've been there, I've been there many times. So now what I'm doing is I'm taking my eraser, basically drawing with my eraser, but I'm pulling out the highlights. And then I can go in with a white pencil and pull them out even more. The great thing about an anneated eraser is that I can shape it and get little points out of it.
Someone said a leopard goes grr, grr, and a jaguar goes vroom, vroom.
That's such a Nick joke.
It is.
It's very good.
I read it.
I know. I love it.
Like, that's so Nick.
Question. Any tips for studying the way animals move?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you can look at them from life if you can find the animal, but otherwise, looking at really good quality video is something that I always did when I couldn't find, I couldn't be there in person.
David Coleman's doing another course for us soon, and I know that's part of what he's going to cover, because he's going to cover sketching, moving animals.
Yeah. Speaking of which, we got some great footage. I mean, just amazing footage while we were on this last trip. And one of the things Nick and I have been talking about is pulling together an animal locomotion reference pack. And we're really excited about that. And I just want to let you know that that's something we're thinking about getting out there to you guys.
Well, in addition to that, one of the things I want to build for members, it's going to take a long time, but for our annual members, I want to build an actual searchable animal reference library.
Yeah, I agree.
That's just a big undertaking.
But it will. Yeah, it's going
It's
to take
on the to-do board.
which is huge.
Oh, one other thing I want to remind people, and because I know we're going to get this question at some point, our books are still
They're still in the port.
they're still at port. If anybody's been following the news, there's a massive backup of shipping containers there. We're just waiting to work our way through the line. But that means there's still time to pre-order and get yourself a guaranteed signed copy of either of the books that we've got coming out. We've got a 100 drawings book and an art of book. So if you go to creaturearttteacher.com/books, you can get both of those. You can pre-order. If you get in the pre-order, you're guaranteed a signed copy. And once we get them, once they arrive, the pre-order's over. We're going to start shipping, and that's your last chance to get a signed copy.
Yeah, because we're getting to the point now where I'm going to be signing for literally a week of just signing 8 hours a day.
That's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I know, right?
How did the 9 old men become the 9 old men?
Well, at one time there were 9 young men, and but they really, one of the great things about the 9 old men that some people don't really realize is there was no animation fundamentals when they came into the industry. Most of them were really great illustrators. Walt wanted to find really great illustrators, artists that could draw, paint, and many of them were coming out of the last great surge of illustrators in the turn of the century, and it was the 9 old men that really kind of sat down and over years of trial and error discovered and propagated the entire all the fundamentals of what we take for granted now in animation.
Yeah, they were
squash
definitely-
and stretch and and timing and overlap and all that.
Yeah,
Go
they
ahead.
were the first to approach it in sort of a methodical way. I mean, there was other people that had been out there doing animation, obviously,
Right.
but
that Disney, that quote Disney style.
In which at the time was a lot of like noodle style animation, but Disney and the 9 old men
Yeah.
like started like the realistic.
Well, you
style,
could really
like
see
Snow
the
White.
growth. You could see the growth. Look at Snow White, which is beautiful, but the growth in the sophistication of the animation between Snow White and Bambi, which are only I think they're 7 years apart or 6 years apart, something like that. The growth, the artistic growth, is insane. It's really incredible. So you can see as I work the eraser here, I'm working out the light and dark areas. Now, one thing you'll notice is I'm not compensating for the spots. I'm going to draw the spots on top of everything.
For the latecomers, what's the paper material you're using?
This is all being done on just regular mat board,
Mate board.
acid-free mat board. The other thing I'm doing, you can see, is if I have a shadow area, I'm going into the negative space now, and I'm pulling out highlights to get the shadow area to read against the board.
Zoji says that between Snow White and Bambi it was actually 5 years.
5 years,
From
thank you.
37 to 42.
Yes, thank you. I couldn't remember off the top of my head.
And Jay Price says, I read somewhere that at the time in the 1940s, Disney animators were considered the best at studying anatomy and movement due to the research done on Bambi.
Exactly. So the amount of research, and that was, it's really a testament to Walt, bringing in the animals and just understanding that it was going to take all this incredible research for them to create the reality that they wanted to create. When you first see that opening, some of those opening shots of Bambi, or later on after Bambi's up and walking, and we're in the forest, I mean, those feel like real deer walking through the forest.
And out of all the 9 old men, which one of the same legendary animators are your favorite and look up to?
Well, I have 3 favorites, and and I love them all. But as far as for my style of animation and drawing, probably my number 1 favorite was Milt Kahl. He was probably the best draftsman out of everybody. And but Frank Thomas and Ollie Johnston they really had so much heart and character in their work. And don't get me wrong, all the guys did. But these are the guys that I gravitate to time and again.
What do you use as a finish if you use one?
I don't spray it. If you're talking about the board, I don't spray it. I just
Get it under plexiglass.
just get it under plexiglass. And because this is really just it's kind of going to be a sketch. I'm going to be a little looser with it.
Oh, maybe that's what I like. What do you think would have happened to the Big Bopper?
He totally would have been Me Too'd. Oh, actually, no. I'm confusing him with Jerry Lee Lewis.
No, I'm thinking, the Big Bopper with Richie Valens, who's he went down with
Yeah, that's right.
Chantilly lace and a
Pretty
pretty
face.
How come Milt Kahl is your favorite animator?
He was. I loved his. He was the best draftsman. His animation was flawless from a technical standpoint. And he liked to show off a little bit. But I love from a technical standpoint the animation he created.
Like, what was your
His classic move was the character talking and tilting their head back and forth at the same time. Because it's really hard to do, and he used to do it with all the characters. It was a classic move of his.
Is that like your favorite shot of his? Or like whenever you see that, you're like, oh, that's Milt.
Yeah, I mean, there's always the classic stuff that Milt did, like Shere Khan kind of stalking through the grass and things like that were really great. But he was great with animals, and although Frank and Ollie were great with Bambi.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like you'd burned through quite a few of those putty erasers with this technique.
It's not as many as you might think, because by the time you get to this point, you've rubbed away a fair amount, even though it's kind of dark on here. the charcoal's not super heavy. But yeah, you do go through some erasers.
Yeah, probably 20 in the first hour.
No.
Mark Davis was on Maleficent and Cruella, right?
Yeah, Mark Davis is another one that's just absolutely incredible, and he drew animals really well.
Was Mark? Who was it that animated Medusa in The Rescuers?
I'm pretty sure that was Milt.
Was that Milt?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because she does that head thing you were talking about, like when she's on the phone.
Yeah.
I think even like his or her assistant or whatever it is.
Yeah. I think he did him as well. I think Ollie and Frank did Penny, or Ollie did the cat, Penny's cat.
Uh-huh.
Was it Rufus? Was his name Rufus?
I think
How-
so.
How did animators lip sync in traditional paper animation? How do you do it without the voice?
We did do it with the voice. That's the thing that people don't realize. When we did animation, the voice is always, always, always recorded first. And so we never animated without having the voice, the dialogue already recorded. And so you'd listen to it, and then in editorial, and this is going to be part of the course that I'm putting together right now, they would put together what's called an exposure sheet. An exposure sheet simply is a roadmap for what the shot is going to be, broken down to every frame. And like if I sat down and I got a shot, I would know, and there's a dialogue. So let's say there's a character that says, "I love you." In editorial, they would sit down and break it down by every frame, so that I could see that on frame, let's say 36, the character is starting to say "love" for "I love you," so I know that to put the L shape on the dialogue. And at frame 20, they're starting to say "I" so I know I should have a big open mouth for "I," and that's how it worked all the way through. All the way through, we get every shot we would get. It was all written out on these cardboard forms, and that's how we would follow along from a dialogue standpoint. And then you'd have a recording of it on cassette tape, and we would just listen to it over and over and over again. And then you try to get the vision of what it's going to be in your head. And then we would thumbnail it. We'd work it all out and figure out the kind of the choreography of what it needed to be. And then we'd get together with the directors, talk about it, show them our plans, and they'd either approve it or we would discuss alternate ways of doing it. And I've been on both sides of that as both the director and the animator. It's a lot of fun because that's where the performance really comes together there. And then you go away and you animate it.
Someone says, I have a book on Mark Davis. He was such a multi-talented guy.
He really was.
And I think a lot of people don't realize that he was responsible for a lot of the classic rides at the park as well. He
Yeah.
did a lot of the...
Yeah, he worked really closely with WDI.
Yep. I think he switched over to WDI at one point. I was just watching
Yeah, I think you're right, actually.
I think he actually at one point essentially left animation and just went to, I don't know if he bounced back and forth or not, but because he did a lot of work on the Haunted Mansion. He did a lot of work on the Peter Pan ride. You know, a lot of the classic Disney World rides.
Who would you say is your favorite Looney Tune director from anywhere between the 30s and the 60s? Of like behind like Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, and all
And
that.
it's hard to top Tex Avery.
Yeah, I mean, I think Tex Avery was probably because he's the one that really pulled that together. I mean, he's not solely responsible, but I mean, it's a lot was him. Tex Avery was awesome.
I wonder who directed the one with where Daffy is dressed as a rabbit and he comes across the abominable snowman.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
You're hurting me. Please stop. Are there any real differences in roles between a director and a co-director?
No, well, it depends. I mean, with
Chuck Jones, actually, he's another one.
yeah, Chuck Jones, yeah.
He directed that particular episode. That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But sometimes it'll be like when Bob and I directed Brother Bear, we were equal. So sometimes they're not as equal. But a lot of times you have director and co-director because an animated movie has got so many moving parts. You know, because everything, when you think about it, just like a CG film, everything has to be created. Every piece of grass, everything. And so, as a result of that, sorry, I'm just looking at some of these grasses here. You got to break up those responsibilities. I remember even with our responsibilities broken up, when we were at the height of Brother Bear, I had about 14 meetings a day. And that's a lot. It's a lot to do.
So would you say that you were both in a way co-directors, or would you say that
Yeah.
you were,
Yeah,
you were the head?
that's how we
That's what it is. Yeah,
we're both co-directors.
Because you're cooperating.
Yeah.
What's your favorite type of background style? Bitmap, vector, or traditional paint style?
That's a weird choice.
Or just like what is your favorite kind of background?
To me, it doesn't matter. It's whatever matches the style for the art direction of whatever it is that's being done. Now, I have, there's some art direction I like better than others. I don't know that I have a favorite style, although I tend to really love. I think I've always loved watercolor, any kind of watercolor style background. I've always had a softness in my heart for that.
It's funny to me that people think so digitally that they even think that that's a
Yeah,
breakdown. Do you prefer vector backgrounds? or
yeah.
bitmap?
That's what it threw me. I didn't.
yeah.
Yeah,
The people don't really.
and that's not a slam for the person that asked the
No,
question.
not at all.
But it was just, it threw me.
That's a digital first thinking.
Yeah. So here you can see I'm just trying to soften some areas, and then we're going to go in and can't tell is that reading all right?
Yep. Well, there's no letters, so it's not really reading, but it's.
So now what I'm going to do, so I want to go in and hit a couple of areas. Actually, you know what? I think I'll probably go and do the spots now. Going with the darks. And where's my maul stick?
Someone saying, yes, finally exposure sheets in a course to understand how to use it better. Looking forward to that.
Yes, you will. How's that reading? Let me see up there. Is that reading okay?
Yeah. Here's what it's looking like here.
Oh, good. So yeah, it's looking good. So here I've got a maul stick,
The
Yeah.
Darth Maul stick.
a Darth Maul stick.
Yeah, you hold it up and it opens for both sides.
Yeah, sure. So if you go to the camera, Dustin, this is my homemade maul stick. It's got a sock on the end with a bunch of paper towels inside, and it's just a stick. And what it allows me to do is I can put this on the table and rest my hand on it and draw.
Did you watch Brave, and what did you think about it?
I thought Brave had a lot of Brother Bear elements. I'm not saying that they copied intentionally, but I don't know that they police themselves very much.
I enjoyed the movie.
I love the movie,
Yeah.
and I love a lot of the artists on that movie too. Sorry, my lead broke in there.
And the director, is that Brenda?
Brenda Chapman.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brenda Chapman's awesome.
And she's head of the studio now, right? Isn't she one of them, the creative heads now?
No, not at Pixar. She left.
Oh, I thought she was at Disney. Oh, maybe I mixed her up.
Yeah, she was at Pixar. She was at Disney. She was she directed some of her credits. She directed Prince of Egypt. And you know what? I think I do need to go in there with some white first because I need to break up some of these areas. So what I'm going to do now is where did I put my white pencils? Oh, here they are. Go
Has
in there.
anybody tried to animate at 60 frames per second, even if it's at least a short?
I'm sure somebody
I mean,
has.
That's one. That's basically a frame per second, right? Or like one. Like that's shooting in ones, right?
No, shooting at ones. It depends on what it depends on what your frame rate is. So if your frame rate is 60 frames a second, then you have to do 60 drawings a second in order for it to be on ones. And if your frame rate is 24 frames per second, which is what I'm used to, then you got to do 24 drawings per second.
Because I remember Akira is shot in ones, but I can't remember if it was 24 or if it was 60.
It's probably 24.
Is it 24?
60 didn't even exist when
Oh,
Akira
that's
was
true.
made.
Yeah, ones and twos has nothing to do with the frame rate. It just has to do with the
Right.
number of frames for each drawing.
Would a film be locked down at the dialogue stage with the recorded voices so you wouldn't need to animate something that ends up being cut later? Or could it still happen?
It can still happen. There's many times that we've been quote locked, but you know the story changes continue to happen, and you just got to deal with it.
Although, again, this goes to the difference in the process of animation versus live action in that you're editing in advance with live action. So the idea is to edit everything and tighten it up in the storyboards and the animatics and all that before you send it into animation production. So you try to lock it down as much as you can
Correct.
to avoid that.
Yes, but it still happens.
Yeah, but again, yeah, I mean, just to reiterate, in animation, editing is part of the pre-production process, not post-production.
Right.
That's what people don't realize. Twitch question. If this is a sore subject, feel free not to answer, but is there any possibility that The Legend of Tembo could be made in the future?
There's always a possibility. Is there a likelihood? Probably not. But
There's some...
don't be surprised if a different elephant film comes out sometime in the future.
Well, there's also possibilities that Chuck and you are exploring. So never say never. I mean,
Yeah.
that's for sure.
But at this point, you know, it's been 10 years since I worked on that film, and I would still love to do an elephant film, but I'd rather just move on. So what I'm doing right now is just kind of hitting some of the brighter areas, some of the lighter value areas before I put the spots on.
What's your favorite traditionally animated movie by DreamWorks?
My favorite traditionally animated movie by DreamWorks. That narrows it down a lot.
They did
Because
what? Road to El Dorado.
Road to El Dorado, Prince of
uh,
Egypt,
And Spirit, right?
Spirit. Probably,
Sinbad.
Oh yeah, Sinbad. I always forget about Sinbad. It's because I don't think I ever saw it.
probably Spirit.
Spirit's a good one. Sinbad I really liked for the villain. Mainly because of the animation of her hair. Like it's such a weird thing, but I just love the way that they animated her hair. It's like very like she's flowing through like into water. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's James Baxter. Is that what's her name?
Are you talking about the character?
Yeah.
I think it was Eris, the goddess of the goddess of discord.
No, I'm trying to think of the actress. It's oh,
That
come
actress.
on.
You want me to look up the actress?
Yeah, she's from Puerto Rico. She's in New York, but I think she's got Puerto Rican roots. It's
Rosie Perez.
Well,
Rosie
Eris
Perez,
was-
thank you. Is it Rosie Perez? Because I know they did a Rosie Perez test. I can't remember if she stayed with the movie or not. That's what I'm trying to
the
remember.
voice for Eris was Michelle Pfeiffer.
Oh, she was. Oh, I remember because she was the big character. Didn't Rosie Perez play a part in that movie?
Doesn't look like it.
The Road to was it the Road to El Dorado?
It's probably Road to El Dorado.
Oh, that's not the one we're talking about.
No, talking about Sinbad.
Oh, sorry. Well, there you go.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, Rosie
she
Perez
the
is
voice of
Shell
Elvira.
in Road to El Dorado.
What's that?
I was saying that Rosie Perez is the character is Shell in
Yeah,
Road to El Dorado.
man, James Baxter's animation of her is so good. So I'm going in with the white here. This is kind of fun.
For people that just joined us, I want to let them know that this weekend we've got 30% off all of our animal drawing lessons at creatureartteacher.com. It's all animal drawing lessons and photo packs. So that includes, how to draw bears, how to draw wolves, how to draw birds of prey, Dustin's photo packs on, animals of Yellowstone, and
Big cats, how to draw big cats, horses.
yep,
What else have we got? Yeah.
African lion photo or big cat photo.
Oh, yeah,
packs.
we got that. Yep.
So check it out because that actually really, those courses help support us putting out this free content on YouTube. So
Check it out. Yeah.
The funk soul brother, check it out now.
I
Now,
was watching Brother Bear recently, and it looks like every bear character was designed by you. Is that accurate?
no, actually, I didn't design any of them. I did the initial designs, but a lot of them were designed by different people. We were just very, very strict on ourselves to make it look like they all came from the same hand and belong in the same movie. Byron Howard really designed Kenai. I did some initial drawings, but Byron really tied it in. And then Rune Beneke really did some incredible stuff. Rune's one of my favorite animators in the world and one of my favorite artists. And yeah, he did some great stuff.
But I mean, as the director, you had the final.
Yeah, I have the
but-
final say, so it definitely went through the same filter. But Rune designed the mother bear, and he was in charge of her animation. One of the things that I want people to realize is that when you watch Brother Bear and you watch that mother bear when she's a real, you know, when we're seeing that, you know, through the human eyes and it's a real bear, he didn't use any reference. He did that all of it out of his head.
Wow.
The guy's insane.
I should grab the cat.
Oh yeah, you can grab it. I've got the maquettes for that, for the movie.
Martin Berger's asking if you could animate a character on Tarzan, which one would you take?
Oh, Kerchak.
Oh, Kerchak the elephant?
No, Kerchak isn't Kerchak the
Oh, no, the leader, right?
Yeah, he's the dominant.
Most nervous.
I was thinking of Tantar.
I know. Here, hold on.
I haven't watched Tarzan forever.
I'm getting covered.
We switch. There we go.
Got it good.
Yep, got it good. This thing weighs about 25 pounds. Here's the mother grizzly from Brother Bear. This is sculpted by Tony Cipriano. Got some cobwebs on there. Tony Cipriano has a sculpting course on our site as well. Sculpting in ZBrush and sculpting figures. Nude figure. What's that?
ZBrush and clay.
Yeah, ZBrush and clay. But we hired him to do all of our character sculpts for the movie, and this is the mother grizzly, and based off of one of Rune Beneke's drawings, or several of his drawings, and it's really, really beautifully done. Yeah, just amazing.
And she's fantastic.
Fantastic.
But when I heard Tony, I was like, "Hey, Tony, I love you."
I got a broken piece in there. Arg.
Erg.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to try to do this without breaking up. My old pencil sharpener always breaks off the charcoal tips, and they get stuck in there, and then it's hard to get any more sharpened in there. Like to jump around. Jump around. Jump. Jump around. Jump around. So I just want to get a little bit more of this on here. Then I'm going to jump over to the spots. Try to get those on fairly quickly because this is taking a little bit. How are we doing on time?
It's 2 o'clock. We've been going an hour.
Oh, we've only been going an hour?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, we're good. Ooh, look at that. This is good for wiping up charcoal too.
Nice.
Nice.
Very nice.
There we go. There we go.
Wait,
There.
no.
So one thing,
Could Nick show us some of his drawings in one of the future live streams?
I'd have to do some first.
I'll just share some of my own stick figures.
so within the shadows, I'm pulling out with the with my tissue paper here, trying to pick up a little bit of, there we go, a little bit of All right, let's see here. This is a 4B. I don't know if I want to go so soft. It says 4B, but I think I've only got 2 to pick from. Well, let's just roll with it. Yeah, it's too soft. No likey.
No likey.
No. No, don't like it. Well, we're going here.
Someone said, "Did you just sing Nelly?" Which you did.
I sang Nelly.
Yeah, with a little bit of.
Oh, I did.
It wasn't me.
That's not Nelly.
I know.
Are you a fan of Mike Judge shows? King of the
Um,
Hill, Beavis and
yeah, not a ton. I mean, I thought Beavis and Butthead was funny here and there when it was out.
Butthead. I actually like his live action stuff. Like Silicon Valley is a great show on HBO. And,
Oh yeah, I forgot that was his stuff.
Yeah, Office Space is a great movie.
Yeah. Shoot.
Idiocracy, which has turned out to be a documentary.
Completely.
What's the difference between a white rhino and a black rhino?
It's a lot of there's a lot of differences, but you know, if you're just seeing them as a layman, it's a lot of it's like shape of the mouth. The first thing, a black rhino has more of a pointed mouth, and a white rhino has a wider mouth.
It has nothing to do with their color, though. That actually came out of a mistranslation. It's
Yeah,
how one of them got to be named black and one of them got to be named white.
yeah.
One of
The
somebody told
white,
us
the
that
white came from the fact that it had a wide mouth, and the wide got mistranslated into white.
So originally it was supposed to be known as a wide rhino.
Well,
a wide
I don't
mouth
know,
rhino, or
but they were talking about the wider mouth. Yeah.
Is there white charcoal powder?
Yes,
have you ever used it?
I've never used it.
Have you ever considered being a tattoo artist?
I always thought tattoo art is cool, but I've never wanted to be a tattoo artist. But I like watching the shows, and every once in a while I go, man, I wonder if I could do that.
We can get you get you a tattoo gun and some turnips to start on.
There you
Turnips
go.
and potatoes, and then Dustin, of course.
And then Dustin.
I don't mind a couple of stick figures on my arm. Oh, but maybe start remembering the feeling it was when I got my first and only tattoo.
Yeah.
Like it barely felt like a bee sting, but it felt more of a burn than it did of a sting.
Yeah. Well, the big one that I got of your mother, that one took eight, almost 10 hours.
And I think mine took like 3 or so hours, 2 or 3 hours. Can't exactly remember. Yeah, mine was just simple black and white with some shading. And a lot smaller than yours. Probably by half.
So I'm just going in right now, detailing out the spots. It's a lot easier using a maul stick like this. Otherwise, your arm would just get, because you can't touch the board. I can't, matter of fact, I shouldn't even have the reference on there, but it's okay. It's not, I'm not moving it around. Except I just did.
If you had a chance to work using digital animation on Moana, what character would you have wanted to animate?
Oh, that's a good question. Probably Moana. I really liked her character. Actually, you know what? No, I take it back. What was Dwayne Johnson's character?
Maui?
Maui. I think I would have liked to have done him. I like animating big characters. I loved animating the Beast.
Well, even he might not have been big, but he was definitely brutish. The Yao.
Yeah, it was fun.
And then nothing you girls can do about it. I know that it will show. I'm lost without you.
Someone said, please hit the thumbs up button for Aaron. Yeah, if you're watching this on YouTube or Facebook or, feel free to hit any buttons of that nature.
Hit the buttons.
Hit the buttons.
Smash that bell. Hit that subscribe button.
Oh, just flip the second toggle. Again? What?
Mystery Men.
Yep, there you go.
Sean on YouTube asks, one day will you please do a tutorial on backgrounds and finishing a piece? The simple yet elaborate backgrounds you do are amazing.
Sure. That's a good idea. You get the pencils like to sing.
If you do something wrong in a sketch in charcoal, is it possible to erase and correct them?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's the really nice thing about charcoal is that it's super flexible.
It's really forgiving.
Yeah, but the bad thing about charcoal is it's super flexible and it smears all over the place.
Yeah.
Why did Disney hire Phil Collins again to write the music and songs for Brother Bear after a huge success and experience working on Tarzan?
Because of his huge success on working on Tarzan.
But did you have
I think he had a multi-picture deal too. I can't say for sure.
were there any others that you had sights on besides him, like Sting or
Peter Gabriel.
Peter Gabriel?
Yeah. I was interested in Peter Gabriel. But then Phil got the Oscar. And I trust me, I love Phil Collins, and that was great. So when we got Phil, we were over the moon.
At what age did you start in animation?
I was 20.
20.
When I started training for animation, I was 20 years old. Up to that point, I was trained as an illustrator. When I started learning illustration, I was 18.
Wow, so you became an animator before you were even legal to drink.
That's true.
That's crazy to think about.
When you put it that way.
Light's changing, so it's looking a little darker on the screen.
Do we need to change the aperture?
That's not bad. It's just as that window light goes down.
Yeah, because it's getting cloudy outside. Do we need to change the aperture, Dustin? Look up. Look at your screen.
I'm looking.
Oh,
It's
okay.
not bad. It's just
I mean, it's a little dark, but I don't think.
Come over here and look at what I'm doing compared to what's on the screen.
it's not bad. It's just starting to get dark. Right?
Yeah, it's a little dark. If you look at mine,
Yeah.
it's a little bit dark. I think we might want to change the aperture a little bit, Dustin.
All right.
One notch.
You could also adjust the exposure straight in OBS in the future so you don't put flying up and over top of them.
Oh, can you do that now?
Do what?
It's probably just easier just today, but
There we go.
this is where we need the
Yeah.
the technical difficulties.
Let's go off. Let's head off to the.
Let's go out to the kitchen. Let's go. Let's go out to the lobby.
How's that look?
Yeah, that's better.
Right
Yeah.
there?
Good. 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 Yeah.
That's good.
That's good. Yeah.
That's good, yeah.
Oh, it just went brighter again, but that's even better. Oh no, I was just looking at this.
Which is the
It
delay.
was delay. Yeah.
That looks good.
Yeah.
And mind if I grab a drink?
No, go for it. Actually, grab one for me too. I think there's diet. I think there's one more diet in there.
I'm good. I grabbed 2 before the start of the stream.
Oh, I just felt my pants go down. All right. Thank you, son. Thank you, my son.
We don't need any wardrobe malfunctions.
Nope. Oh, the sound of a Diet Pepsi. Maybe we can get a Diet Pepsi sponsorship.
It's Diet Coke, but
Mm.
you're gonna have to start with getting.
I mean, Coke.
you're gonna have to start with getting the product name correct. But
So this is I love drawing spotted cats because the end result is really nice, but drawing the spots,
Jonathan on YouTube says the animation class here in Liberty County, Georgia, would like to say hello, Mr. Blaise.
hello, Liberty County, Georgia animation class.
Hello. Do you ever randomly burst into singing "On My Way" on your adventures?
No. We used to actually, believe it or not.
I live on Riverbend, is the name of the road. So
Oh yeah,
in my
just
head-
around the riverbend.
Yeah, in my
I
head,
know.
every time I turn the corner, I think that in my head.
Just around the river.
But
I-
man, how many times did we do Toto in Africa?
Oh yeah, well that's
It was funny on my way here today. I had my music on shuffle, and there's one particular artist I listen to, and
Only one?
well,
That's very narrow.
there's a lot of other artists I was listening to, but this one in particular, he did the cover for that song, and I just immediately flashed back to us in Africa with him playing that song over and over.
Oh yeah. Yeah, man.
Twitch comment. Oh wow, I'm just stunned. I've just started to get into realism with my art and animals, and it's what I love to draw most. I'm going to have to try dusting a piece with graphite and erasing. Wow.
Yeah, don't do it with graphite. It won't work the same.
Yeah, this is charcoal powder.
This is charcoal. Charcoal is much more forgiving.
Did you show the charcoal powder to the camera?
I did.
You did?
Well, I don't know. I kind of did. It doesn't have autofocus, right?
Yeah, but Dustin, flip to the. Yeah, there you go. It's just a.
This is Cretacolor.
Yeah, just hold. Yeah, Nick, just hold the
Oh yeah,
on the.
I can focus it.
There you go.
Got it.
Yep.
That's charcoal powder. That's what you use for the dusting.
Yep.
And now just refocus on him.
Yeah.
There you go.
For the dusting.
What is your opinion on fan art?
I think fan art's fine as long as you don't try to sell it. I know people that sell it, and I think I think that's plagiarism. Even mashups, I think it's plagiarism because you're still riding on the coattails of someone else's designs. So I think fan art's cool because I think you're paying homage. Just don't profit off of it.
Eric
You know what I'm
says-
saying?
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. Go ahead.
There was a bunch of people saying, "Does anyone else schedule their day around Aaron's live streams?" And several people are saying yes.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, that's cool.
Thank you.
That's
Well,
like
thank you.
so cool.
Well, make sure you share them. Share them and post them. That definitely helps.
Yeah.
Like them and thumbs up them and I don't know,
Thumbs up them.
whatever it is you kids do on the interwebs,
The interwebs.
on the TikToks.
And to the latecomers, what's the white pencil you're using? Is it charcoal?
Yes, it's made by General. They're all Generals. It's called Generals. Is the name brand?
Generals? Are you showing
Yep.
it on your camera or just?
I am now.
Oh, here you go.
So this is General's Charcoal White.
You could,
Crayon Diffusion Blanc.
There you go.
Can you see it?
Yep, see it now.
Okay.
Charcoal white.
And then for my darks, right there, General's Charcoal Pencils. Brought to you by CBS.
I think call that charcoal white, but it's obviously not really.
It's not charcoal,
It's gotta be
no.
like a Conte.
It's a Conte, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a Conte. But it goes on like the charcoal.
Which is cool.
What was your favorite sequence in Fantasia?
My
Of the
favorite
original
sequence in Fantasia was probably Night on Bald Mountain.
I have one of the original drawings from that.
That's insane that you do.
The where you
Is
talk about
it a Bill
the-
Teitla drawing?
Oh yeah, it's
Wow.
the Balrog or whatever.
Is it a rough
It's a-
drawing or is it a clean-up drawing?
It's a rough.
Wow.
I think. I'll show it to you.
And when it comes to the original Fantasia, I think I really liked I would say either the centaurs or the dinosaurs.
Yeah. Little Bacchus running around.
I'm a sucker for just the classic Sorcerer Mickey.
Yeah.
And then also, of course, Mickey. Yeah.
I always loved the big dramatic animation, even when I was a kid.
Well, that said, in the when they did the Fantasia 2000, that Firebird sequence is
The Firebird sequence is
Yeah.
insane. That's some of the best animation, aesthetically beautiful animation I think that's ever been done. And I don't know that anything like it's been done since.
is that
It's the Britzy brothers.
right?
But yeah, that like the live versus death with a volcano, that
Yeah.
was probably by far the best sequence of that Fantasia 2000.
Just go through and look at the effects drawings, just everything that went in there. So I'm going through here now, and I'm just with my finger, and because I've got soft charcoal in there, I can darken by just lightly smearing, can darken some of the shadows. And I really like the look of that. So I'm just gonna do that a little bit. And I like it. I like it a lot.
I like it a lot. And the white charcoal you showed, was that a pastel style pencil?
Yeah, it says it says that it's white charcoal, but it is, I think it's more of a Conte.
Yeah, because there's really no such thing as white.
No,
Okay.
it's an oxymoron. It's charcoal.
Citizen Seagal says, did you know that there's a village in China called a Village of Artists?
No.
That's what I have.
I didn't know.
Wow. Yeah, that's awesome.
I don't know if that's rough or cleaned up. I mean, it's got the
That's
color.
a cleanup, and it's indicating where all the color separations go. That's why all the different colors are on there. It's indicating where the inks are. Teitla drew it in. I think he drew it in regular pencil first. Then they went back and decided what inks to go where. But I think he drew basically that clean.
Yeah, that's my understanding, is that it's actually his drawing, not just.
Yeah, so they probably went in and just went over the top of it.
Are you not letting the stick touch the paper?
No, don't let it. I'm not letting it. I'm actually resting my hand on top.
And are you just holding up the other end with your hand?
Yep. On the lower right, can you see the lower right? I'm just
Yeah.
holding it like this on the table.
Yeah, I switched to your face camera for a second and was able to see the bottom of it. So if you can just show real quick to your face cam of how you're holding the bottom. There you go. Just like that.
Yes, sir.
Very nice.
Very nice. Oh, this one's coming out fun. I'm liking this one.
You liking it?
I'm liking it.
You liking the way it's turning out?
Sometimes sometimes you do a drawing and you're like, eh.
Yeah.
Sometimes you do a drawing and you're like, oh, I hate it. And then sometimes you do a drawing and you go, hey, I like this drawing.
What's the most supernatural thing you've ever experienced?
I was out in the woods. I grew up in South Florida in the Everglades, and there was a lot of old Indian mounds there. Not necessarily burial mounds, but living mounds. And I'm not I don't believe in ghosts. I don't believe in that sort of thing. But I do have to say, there was one night I was out there, and I was walking out. I just like to go out in the woods at night sometimes, and I was near where one of the mounds were out in the woods, and there is this. I can't describe it other than it looked like kind of this greenish, fluorescent kind of glow around this tree. Very slight. Like if you look directly at it, it was hard to see. It was, you know how if you see something that's a different value in a night sky, if you don't look directly at it, you can see it better because your what is it, your rods or your cones? Everything for seeing colors is in the center, and your values are off to the side. And so it was kind of like that. If I didn't look directly at it, I could see it a little better. But there is definitely this glow there. And as I went up to it, it dispersed and kind of went away. And I don't know what it was. It was kind of weird. And I'd heard that there were spirits and all kinds of stuff in that area. And I don't know that I buy that it was that, but it definitely made the hair on the back of my neck stand up.
If you had a time traveling machine, what would you do with it?
I'd time travel.
I'd go back and stop the machine from ever being made, because time travel is incredibly irresponsible.
Time's just a construct.
Great Scott!
Great Scott!
I think
I've always wanted to go back, like where I grew up in South Florida. I always wanted to go back 10,000 years or 50,000 years and see what that area was like back then. Always thought it would be cool.
I always thought it'd be fun. I think it'd be fun to be able to be the first to take wildlife photos of the past, of like the Jurassic period or the Ice Age.
There you go. Oh, actually, that would be amazing, wouldn't it? So
Yeah.
you go on Jurassic photo safaris.
Exactly, like Jurassic Park, but actually time traveling.
Yeah. Okay, there's a movie. That's a cool idea.
A time traveling photographer.
Yeah. Have you watched the latest what's it called? It's the robot, the animated
Love, Death, and Robots?
Love, Death and Robots.
I
Have
have
you watched
not.
I did.
the latest season?
Yeah, I haven't. I watched it right around the time when it first dropped.
Did you watch the one where it's the guy that it's realistic CG, the guy that can reproduce, or not reproduce, but he can regenerate?
People are saying, wow, that really is a good idea for a movie.
Oh yeah. It was like
Yeah.
it was practically like the first. It was the first episode, I think, for me. It was like it's out in the desert, and he has his own little hiding place.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know.
Did you see the quality of that? How
That
real
looks amazing.
it was amazing.
Well, the other one that looked great is the people that are basically immortal because they go through the procedure.
Oh yeah. But I really dig that. I think the show goes over the top with some of the gore and things like that, just shock stuff, just to be shocking. But
Yeah.
in general, I think the artistry on some of that stuff is just insanely good. And I think some of the storylines are really great too.
I think in
wrong.
general, that's one of the problems with quote unquote adult animation in general, is because it's such a novelty of, oh, we can
get away with anything and
we
make
can
it
do
adult.
violence, so we'll make it ultra violent. And it's
Yeah.
like, well, you're only doing it for the novelty of the shock, not
Right.
for the purpose of the story. But,
Exactly.
you know,
But I mean, like probably the ones that blew my mind the most is actually from the first season of the crew member that gets stuck in the station. Is like that went way off course.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying not to spoil anything, but I mean, sure, there's a lot of adult content in there, but the overall CG quality, like when it first opened up, like I almost thought that it was a real person
Yeah.
at first. I'm like, is that CG?
Twitch question. Are you trying to match the exact placement of each spot from the reference, or do you just start and make them up as you go?
I just make them up as I go, trying to hit the same flavor. If I was trying to do the same spot, I would go insane. I'm already insane.
And from Erica, is that the 4B you're using right now?
Yes, this is the 4B I'm using.
So if we would send you a time machine, could you do a dinosaur photo reference pack, Dustin?
Yeah.
Sure, why not?
What do I do with my left pencil? There it is.
Can you imagine a time traveling wildlife photographer?
I'm telling you, it's a movie. It's at least an animated short.
Erica asks, is that a 4B you're using?
Yes. Dustin was just saying that.
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed the question.
It's okay.
I was reading something.
But
Hey, you made my mistake.
I did.
I'm gonna jump over and. Oh, maybe not.
Did you watch Squid Games yet? I personally haven't.
I did not like Squid Games. I know it's the most popular thing on Netflix and most popular it's ever been on Netflix, but I just feel it was, I don't know, it's just over the top, ultra violent. Just not my cup of tea. I don't like that kind of stuff.
Not your cup of tea.
No, I don't like seeing old ladies getting their heads smacked open, their brains hanging out.
Oh, is that what happens?
Oh yeah, it's just horrible.
Oh, you.
It's super violent.
I actually was reading an interesting article, though, not about Squid Games, because I still haven't seen it. It was about Squid Games in general as a broader concept. and they were just talking about that is the most popular thing that Netflix had ever done.
That's what I'm saying.
But
Yeah.
what I was going to say that was interesting, they were making the point that what's interesting about it is this is Netflix reaping the rewards of them investing in international
Right.
production.
Multiculturalism. Yeah, exactly.
Years
Which
ago.
I think is awesome.
Yeah, it is very neat that we're starting to see more crossover.
But for me, yeah, the subject matter is just not my cup of tea, man. But I mean, we really have
I
seen
figured
this.
I would let Rivers watch it and let me know what he thinks. Rivers is my 4-year-old son, everybody, and I'm joking.
Yeah, I'm going to change. I know I've got a big dark shadow under his armpit, but I want to silhouette that arm a little bit. So I think I'm going to, and I've got all this erased out on the right side.
Excuse me.
Zonji says, I'm watching Fantasia 2000 sequence now, the particular the life and death. And it says amazing, and I won't watch Squid Games based on your feelings on it.
Yeah, I mean, no, don't
Don't not watch it.
don't not watch it because of me, but for me it just wasn't my cup of tea. Man, I just have to keep talking in rhyme, don't I?
You do it all the time. Told you I could rhyme.
Yeah, see, that feels a little bit better.
Little better.
It's feeling better all the time.
Feeling better all the time. Looking forward to your next pack, Dustin. How's it going putting it together? It's going smoothly.
Smooth me.
So far, all the species are organized in their own little folders in each day. So now I just need to renumber them and officially group them all into mass files. So like a strip, just lion file, cheetah file, and just count them all up, do all that stuff. Should take me about a couple more days. Hopefully get that done over the weekend. And then weed out all the bad ones. Then ship them over to Dad and Nick, let them review it, and then
And we go, nope.
then go, yep, nope. Do it again.
Dustin, the photo pack can't be 38,000 photos. I'm just letting you know. I'm going to stab you right there.
We're not going to post the photo pack because we just don't want to.
Yeah.
We could, but just no.
We've already been home 3 weeks.
Has it really been 3 weeks?
Yeah.
Feels like we just got back last week. Not gonna lie, when I watched the Baraka
Yeah,
movie,
Barack is awesome.
yeah, and the shots came up with the Maasai
Uh-huh.
in there. It's just like, oh,
Yeah,
I was
pretty
there. I want to go back already.
Be honest, did you guys see that movie originally because they gave it to you with your DVD player? 'Cause that's how I first saw it.
No, Baraka was part of when I was researching for the tone that I wanted for Brother Bear. That's how I found it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, back in the day, that was one of the movies they used to give you when you bought a DVD player because it was
Oh.
so visually sort of
Yeah.
like in the early days when they were trying to get DVDs to take off.
No, I found it for my Brother Bear research.
Yeah, I remember watching it years and years ago when I was like very little, and I couldn't. And there was one particular bit that I couldn't put my finger on of where I know this person from in my memory. But then when I saw Barack, I'm like, that's the guy, and I think it was the Indian guy that was sitting with the super long dreads.
Oh, yeah. It reminds me of our brother-in-law, Sinchay.
Did
Well, that's
mom
cool,
get the
'cause that
idea
reminds
of
me of my
having dreads
brother-in-law.
because
I
of
said
it?
our brother-in-law is what I said. I'm putting it. It's a collective now.
Did mom have the idea of having dreads from seeing that guy in Baraka
No.
with the really long ones?
No, your mother just wanted to have dreads because she was that cool.
What is your favorite Disney song?
Zippity doo dah, zippity yay. My oh my, what a wonderful day. Um, oh, there's a lot of them.
Yeah, I think the transformation song is one of my tops.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just love the magic behind it, and I'm not gonna lie. No matter how many times I watch that movie, whenever the transformation happens with that explosion of color,
Yeah,
it almost makes me tear up every time.
yeah. That's the idea. That's what we're trying to do.
But I think another favorite of mine, because it's just so left field when I first watched the movie, is from Tangled. Was the "I Have a Dream," where's all
I have a
all the
dream.
goons.
Yeah.
Because it's just so left field. Because you just see all these like big, menacing, like villainous looking guys, and then all of a sudden they have this cheerful song of like what they all have dreams of.
That reminds me
It's
of
just like,
Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Yeah, it does.
yeah, exactly.
I think that was part of their
Or
inspiration.
Spam-A-Lot.
And I remember when I went with the rest of the training crew when we were all training to be 3D artists at Digital Domain. We all went to see the movie in theaters, and when that song came on, we all just started burst laughing.
Do you ever draw things with different techniques, such as cross-hatching or stippling? Ever do that just to maybe change things up, or if you hit artist block or anything like that?
I used to do a lot more cross hatching and stippling. I don't really do that anymore. I've evolved into my own style, and that's where I kind of stay now.
And what is cross hatching?
It's a series of lines that are literally crossed over each other to create value for shadow and creating different values, whether it's shadow or darker local color or whatever. Bum 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 bum. All right, back to the spots. To the spots. This is definitely going to take longer than we've got today. But so for those of you that have come in late, just to let you know, on our website, we've got a couple of sales going on. Our Inktober course, I've got a how to draw in ink. I've got a ink techniques course, and that is currently 30% off, right?
Yep. Both are 30. Both sales are 30%.
Yeah, 30% off. And then also all of our animal drawing courses are 30% off as well.
Yeah, and that's all, how to draw horses, how to draw wolves, how to draw bears, birds of prey, the animal drawing bundle, and all the photo packs as well. So get it at
.com.
creatureartteacher.com.
Oh. Whose idea was it to do a spotted cat today?
Mine, I'm sorry. I'll take the blame on this one.
Sometimes, just having a little study like this, where you don't have it all the way finished. This is my excuse for not finishing it. When you don't have it all the way finished, that's kind of appealing too. It's kind of a neat little study.
Twitch question. Aaron, what's a movie that you've seen many times, but you're still blown away by the technical skill behind it?
Well, not necessarily technical still, but writing. Oh Brother, Where Art Thou is one of my favorite movies of all time, and I love the Coen brothers and their writing abilities, and it's just their ability to write dialogue and to write character. Oh, and then to be able to cast the right people for those characters. Those guys are masters. And I'm always, looking at their work and scrutinizing it and I'm always inspired by it. Lebowski's another one, which is also there. There's a big Lebowski. Another one that's just amazing characters, great dialogue. Every character speaks in the way that only they would speak.
Oh, brother, where art thou?
And Oh Brother, that's what I just said. I was just saying, I'm talking about Oh Brother, Where Art Thou. And one of the things about that, if you've never written a script, you've never written character, it's really hard to write in a character's voice and keep it distinct, especially in characters that aren't super broad. And that's one of the things they do so well is write in characters' voices. When the character's speaking, you know who it is that's speaking. And I find it just fascinating to be able to immerse yourself that deeply into the writing and just let it happen and have that dialogue become so naturalistic.
Silverwing 109 on YouTube says, I just got the Big Cats course and I love it.
Oh, I'm glad. Thank you. Thank you for supporting us. Hey, you know what we've got? And I'm just now starting to figure it out because I'm an old guy and I'm new to the game. TikTok. For those of you that are out there and you have TikTok or you're into TikTok or whatever, TikTok to me, because the more I learn about it, the more fascinated I am about it, and as far as being able to have an art related channel, and I see everybody that a lot of different people doing music and arts and all kinds of things, and it's perfect for TikTok. So if you didn't know, we've got a TikTok channel now. Gone over and check it out. We just got a few videos on it, but it's Aaron Blaise art, right?
Yep.
Just like everything else.
Yep.
And we got a few. I think we're primarily gonna focus on animation on that. I think that's where we get our best responses from. And so we're gonna really focus and do a lot more animation on that channel. But go on over and check that out if you are on that newfangled TikTok thing,
TikTok thing.
like those kids nowadays. Stupid me, I get hooked on it.
What's your favorite cartoon quote of all time? Well, if it's from Looney Tunes or Disney or anything like, what's your favorite cartoon quote?
You're despicable.
You're despicable. Yeah.
Duck season.
Yeah, there you go. There's
Another
one.
season.
It's just such a stupid little thing, but I always found it funny. In The Secret of Nim, when what was Dom DeLuise's character, the Raven? What was his name? Jeremy. Was it Jeremy?
Jeremy. Yeah.
And he was describing how he got all wet with water, and I loved how he had to be specific that it was with water. And it's stupid, but in the moment, it was just such a genius little thing to add because it really said something about his character. And for some reason, that little tiny thing has always stuck out to me.
It's the little details in the voices and even the animation, like
Yeah.
your Yao, like the famous animation of Yao, the way he kisses his knuckle after punching the guy. Little details like that.
Yeah, and that kind of stuff just comes out just through talking about it with fellow animators.
Zoji's asking, Aaron, can you explain some of your thought process in designing these dots, which are not going to be exactly the same as the source photo?
Right. So the thing about these dots is they do change depending on where they're located on the cat. So I do have to keep that in mind. When you're up around the head and part of the neck and underneath the neck, they tend to be dots. As you go along the back of the neck and along the back, they turn into rosettes, which the dots are basically making up a design like I'm drawing right now. And then I want to make sure that I'm keeping them the same kind of distance from one another consistently. The biggest thing is to make sure that I'm maintaining the form, that I'm getting them to, like, if I'm drawing up here, that they're following the form of the cat. Like right along here, you would really just see the edges, those spots turned on their edge. And as they come back around, you start to see a little bit more of them, so that you really get a sense of the form of the cat. It feels rounded.
Can you see the finished result before you begin an illustration?
Yes. I see it in my mind's eye. Go ahead, Nick.
Do you have any tutorials on how to draw cats?
I've got a tutorial on how to draw big cats. I don't have anything on domestic cats. No.
On our YouTube channel, we have a free video on how to draw cats. You recently did one.
Yeah, that's right. I was drawing like a portrait, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When are you guys going to start your own podcast?
Are we doing it now?
This kind of is the version of that. I mean, there's just not enough hours in a day. You know what you can do? Turn the picture off and just listen to this. It's just like a podcast.
That's the thing. I've never. I'm an artist, a visual artist, so I don't really know what a podcast.
I mean, we could sit around and talk about movies and
Yeah.
Talk about movies or
and
talk about different animations or
interview
different
people.
artists.
But to me, I would just as soon do it on our YouTube channel, and that's just
Yeah, while I'm doing art or cooking.
yeah. Directors making sandwiches.
Yeah, because Nick is convinced we should do cooking too, and I'm convinced we should as well because I love to eat. I love Live from Daryl's house, Daryl Hall, because they do music and cooking.
Tell Aaron he should watch Fargo, the TV show. You would love the dialogue and cinematography of that.
I've watched every season.
Yep, me too.
I love it.
Actually, I haven't watched the most recent season yet. I watched the first episode. I was moving slow, so I was going to come back to it, and then I just haven't gone back to it. But now that it's all done, I'll probably just binge it. Because I heard it got
I actually didn't watch every season. I didn't watch the Chris Rock one.
That's the latest.
That's the one. Yeah, I didn't watch that one.
I figure now that it's all done, I can go back and binge it. It'll be a little faster.
Yeah.
In the movie, animated movie Hercules, who designed Hades? And you know why why the company hired James Woods to do the voice?
I don't know why they ended up with James. I know he did a really good voice test. But Nick Rainieri did Hades. Nick was also did Lumiere from Beauty and the Beast. But they originally tried to get Jack Nicholson.
Oh, really? To voice?
Yeah,
Hades?
and
That makes perfect sense because you can kind of see.
and Nick did he grabbed a clip from one of Jack Nicholson's movies. I can't remember which clip it was, but he animated Hades to it. It was amazing. Now I thought, that being said, I thought James Woods was awesome in the role. Once you saw it, a lot of his line deliveries were so really good.
Yeah.
Well, he's great at that slick, smart
Meg, my little nutmeg.
Yeah.
But did you know that? So apparently, I don't know. I can't remember if it's true or not. But I remember hearing when he's like, "Come on, guys, relax. It's only halftime."
Yeah,
It's literally like halfway in the movie
right.
when he says it, like right on the dot.
What did you say, Nick?
Did you ever see Videodrome with him?
No,
The David Cronenberg movie.
yeah,
It's totally 80s. It's him and the girl from Blondie.
yeah,
Yeah.
Debbie Harry.
Yeah, that's kind of a wild movie.
It is. I've never been able to get through it.
I saw it the first time in person with him. He did a
Oh, that's right. He came to Sarasota,
yeah,
right?
he did a Sarasota and did a Q&A, and they screened it. So I had never seen it. I loved it because it's such a bizarre movie,
Yeah,
and it was cool just hearing his stories about making it.
right. That's
But,
super cool.
But it's a weird movie. But all of Cronenberg's movies are odd.
Did you know that Daniel Craig has a Star Wars cameo?
Yes.
Yeah, he's one of the stormtroopers.
Yeah. Did the classic shows like Flintstones and Jetsons influence today's animated prime shows for families like Simpsons and Family Guy?
I don't think so. Not from a visual standpoint. I mean, it's always been there as an option, as a staple, but I don't. They I would say they paved the way, maybe, but I don't know how much of an influence I would say they were, unless they were taking into account how much the the uh, the amount of time that an
I think the
audience will sit
Flintstones
through.
definitely had some influence on The Simpsons, no doubt about it. Because just the whole, I think, what's his name even sort of said that because Matt Groening,
Uh-huh.
because the whole idea of it being a family and prime time, I think that was part of the pitch. Because the Flintstones was a prime time cartoon. People don't realize that.
Yeah.
Back when it aired originally, wasn't a Saturday morning cartoon for kids. It
Nope.
was-
Bonnie, but that was all based on the Honeymooners.
yeah, of course.
Whoa.
Whoa, sorry about
Uh-oh.
that. Laguna Beach, California.
This movie I need to rewatch. I haven't watched since I was like little. The Flintstones movie.
Oh yeah, with Rick Moranis,
Rick Moranis and John Goodman.
John Goodman. Well, you got to meet Rick Moranis.
Oh yeah. That was very surreal.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it because it's not out yet, but the early reviews are out. Not a spoiler, but there's a rumor that he has a cameo in the Ghostbusters movie.
He's
Oh,
got.
did he? Or is that just a rumor he said?
It's a rumor. I don't know. It's nobody's. Everybody's under gag orders that's seen the movie, but I hope he does.
I hope he's in it.
Supposedly, he's going to be doing some Honey I Shrunk the Thing kids thing with. He's like semi coming out of retirement.
Some Honey, I Shrunk the Thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be good.
With Disney Plus or something. They're doing like a reboot or something. I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you, you always hear rumors. People tell you about, certain actors or actresses that, they're difficult to work with. And when we got started on Brother Bear, I was warned by executives, just to, make sure you handle him the right way. He can be kind of difficult.
Oh, Rick?
Yeah, Rick Moranis. And it couldn't have been further from the truth. I really enjoyed, he was such a great guy. He brought actually, I think he really enjoyed the material. And he was so nice and so contributing, because so much of what we asked them to do was to improvise, which is, that's their main strength, right? From all their sketch TV and, when they came from SCTV and all that, that was all improvised stuff. A lot of it. It was written, but then they'd improvise. And they really sunk their teeth into the roles, him and Dave Thomas, and really gave us some amazing stuff. So much of what ended up in the movie was not what we wrote, but what they improvised.
It is quite nice.
It is quite nice,
But
which
your
is...
point is he wasn't a diva at all.
He wasn't a diva. Yeah, my point is he wasn't a diva at all. He was absolutely wonderful.
Turns out he's just not a fan of executives. 'Cause
Yeah.
I cannot believe you totaled a mammoth, eh?
And he and I kind of share kind of similar tragedies in that he lost his wife to breast cancer like I did. And I just think it's so honorable that he took so much time off so that he could raise his kids.
Well, that's why you haven't seen him. He's pretty much retired from acting
Yeah.
to raise his kids. But I think now he's like at the
His
point
kids
that
are raised.
They're older and he's
Yeah.
He's ready to come back. Yeah, I remember seeing the him making that cameo for an advertisement for Ryan Reynolds' thing.
Yeah.
Mint, was it Mint Television or something like that?
Mint Mobile. It's a cell phone company.
Or it was like Mint Mobile.
Yeah.
He's like Rick Moranis. That's Rick Moranis.
Did he randomly get punched?
Yeah,
Like some random
that was recent.
jerk just punched him like on the sidewalk of New York.
But they didn't know who he was. It didn't have anything to do with him being Rick Moranis.
No, I know.
No.
It was just a random act of violence.
Like you get in New York or in the United States.
Yeah, it just made no sense at all.
How's that looking on screen?
Looking good.
Good.
Does it look good?
I mean, the left is a
Just
little
tabbed away.
blown out, but I mean, it's
Well, I'm not going to be able to finish this whole thing. It's going to be more of a study.
But what was Dave
loving
Thomas
it.
like compared to Rick?
Great. I mean,
Were they-
they really, well, what was nice is the history. By the time we had them on the movie, I used to watch them, the two of them on SCTV back in 1978 and 79, when I was a kid. Or 1980, maybe it was 80.
And my first
When they were
experience
doing
with
Bob
it was
and Doug
in their movie
McKenzie.
version, Strange Brew.
Yeah, so the movie version came out after I was watching them on SCTV. And Strange Brew came out in what, 81?
I believe so.
Yeah,
Let
I
me
think that's about right.
let me look it up.
Yeah, so we were watching them in 1980 on TV, and just thought,
83.
83, and me having grown up, I spent some of my childhood in Vermont and near Canada. We had a lot of Canadian friends. It was just, for us, it was so funny. And then Bob, my co-director, Bob, he was Canadian, and some of his favorite characters were Bob and Doug. And so
Oh, he must have been
the idea to
starstruck.
bring them on to play the roles was such a no-brainer. Bruce Johnson, I think it was Bruce Johnson's idea to do that.
For me, it'll always be Ghostbusters, man. I mean, he's
Yeah.
still great in that movie.
Who do you think? This is my own question. Who do
I
you
am the
think
keynote.
in your crew was the most starstruck when meeting Dave and Rick?
Oh, I don't know. Probably Bob. I mean, Bob never got starstruck over anybody, but it was pretty cool to see him. But I loved, like, every year they do their 12 Days of Christmas song, and I loved their stuff always as a kid. So having them on was really cool, and to get them to play, characters as an homage to the characters that they'd already done was really cool too. And I would be in the booth with them reading, and eventually I had to leave the booth. I got kicked out because I kept laughing and spoiling the takes because I was laughing.
As one would when experiencing
Oh yeah.
improv geniuses. And why on Brother Bear was Joaquin Phoenix hired to voice Kenai, who was later famously as the Joker?
That was one of the hardest characters to cast. We auditioned over 100 Kenais, and we just could not find the right voice. I wanted something not necessarily native. I wanted something that sounded earthy. I don't know how to explain it, but we had a hard time finding. We actually originally were going to get Jason Schwartzman, and but he was playing in his band and didn't have time. And Joaquin, there were several guys that were high on our list that we never got a chance to approach. But Joaquin, we listened to him, and man, when we pulled out some of the stuff he did in Gladiator and listened to that, and we put it over our character, that's when it really started to hit for us. And so that's how we started thinking that he'd be the guy that we would approach. And so we did. And that was that. They said his agent said yes, and because you don't really talk to the actor, you talk to the agent, and that's how we got together.
Some of the other people who tried out for the role were Topher Grace, right, and Justin Long.
Justin Long was really high on our list. Topher Grace was high on our list. I remember auditioning Justin Long in New York, and he was right after Galaxy Quest, and
Was he the fanboy?
yeah,
That's what it was.
and both he and Topher Grace, they really wanted a Disney role, because I remember Topher Grace, or no, Justin Long, was it? I can't remember. One of them said, "Yeah, man, I did a report on Walt Disney, my 7th grade social studies class," and they were both great. They made the top 10 for us, but ultimately it was Joaquin. It was funny because we did a job for Topher Grace later on. We were doing some work with him, Nick and I, and when we first got together and got on the phone call, I said to him, I said, "Hey, Topher, I don't know if you remember me or not, but I actually auditioned you for Brother Bear." And he goes, "Oh yeah, I remember. You ended up hiring Joaquin Phoenix. Yeah, whatever happened to that guy?" It was funny.
No, he was super nice to
He
work
was
with.
super nice and really joked about it quite a bit.
Topher Grace, if I remember right, was he from That 70s Show?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. There's still some names I'm still trying to remember, trying to memorize. What is your favorite Tom Hanks movie? I would say mine's Saving Private Ryan.
Oh, Saving Private Ryan's up there.
Yeah.
Forrest Gump's a great movie.
Forrest
Oh,
Gump, Castaway. Joe versus the volcano.
The Money Pit.
The Money Pit with Shelley
Oh.
Long.
The
One of the funniest scenes I've ever seen in my life is when that tub goes through the floor and he looks down and he can't even speak anymore. And all he can do is just, he goes in that maniacal laughter, and it's the funniest shot. I forgot about the Money Pit. The Money Pit is so good.
Oh, the other scene where he sinks into the floor and he just can't move.
I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I'm up here. And you can hear the guy going, "Are you making fun of me? No, I can't breathe."
He ends up being like that for the whole day.
And his wife finally comes home and yanks him through the floor. Oh my God, that movie is funny. Because of him and Shelley Long.
One of those movies I remember.
Also, Splash is really good in that.
Yeah.
Splash. Splash is one I saw on TV a lot on reruns. The Burbs. I saw that a lot on reruns.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tom Hanks is just one of those great actors. And I think Saving Private Ryan was one of my first like real World War II films, if that
Yeah.
makes sense. And it was crazy is that that movie actually inspired some game developers to create the franchises that became Medal of Honor,
Oh, really?
which sprouted out Call of Duty, which is like one of the biggest game franchises out there today.
Sprouted out.
Sprouted out, yeah. Sprouted from a little weed. But yeah, in fact, Medal of Honor, I think, was the idea came out from Steven Spielberg. Like he wanted to make a game that was close to Saving Private Ryan that a younger audience could enjoy,
Yeah.
and that's how Medal of Honor was made.
Does your course on lighting explain what you're doing now?
Yeah. I mean, I'm doing fur markings. I'm not really doing lighting, but it does talk about my thinking behind light and shadow. It also covers how color is affected by
And value and
light,
temperature?
value, and temperature, hue, all of that. If you're interested in learning more about lighting for painting, then I really do recommend it because I really tried to put everything I knew about lighting into that course. It's one of the courses I'm more proud of.
Who was the first black animator hired by Disney?
Well, Floyd Norman. I'm not sure if Floyd was
I
the
don't think he's
first,
the first.
and I don't know who the first was. Floyd is definitely the most well known.
Is it difficult trying to
Oh, no.
convey?
He is the first, at least according to Wikipedia.
Okay. Well, there you go. Floyd Norman.
Is it difficult trying to convey to the voice actors what needs to be done, or do they pretty much get it right off the bat?
No, yes, it can be difficult. But I always made sure that, when I'm working with an actor, I know the material inside and out, first of all, because I helped write it. And you don't write it unless you know the reasons why it needs to be there. So you understand not just the lines themselves, but why they're there, how they should be performed, the attitude behind them. Now, the one thing you don't want to do is tell an actor how to perform it. Now, you might have an idea in your head on the emotion and everything, but the last thing you ever want to do is actually kind of perform it for the actor and have them parrot it back. Then you're not getting the best out of your actors if you do that. And so we made it a point when I would explain to an actor what I was looking for, I would explain the emotion and the motivation, what's going on in a character's head, what was happening with that character in the shot before. I would go through as much of that and give them as much information as I could without actually telling them how they needed to actually perform the shot or the scene.
Erica says, so I remember correctly, but jaguars generally have spots within the rosettes, whereas leopards do not.
Correct. Yeah, jaguars' rosettes are a bit more complicated.
And from Castra, would it have been cool if Liam Neeson or Sean Connery, aka James Bond, voiced Mufasa on The Lion King other than James Earl Jones?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, Simba, everything the light touches is our kingdom.
I don't know. I like Darth Vader.
Yeah, I don't think you can beat James Earl Jones.
James
Clearly,
Earl
Disney
Jones
didn't
has
either, that's why They
that.
brought him back.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, James has that, like, powerful voice to it. Like,
I wonder why they didn't use Jeremy Irons again. I wonder if he
I
had
said
some
that.
kind of...
I thought I said the same thing. I don't know why.
Unless he just didn't want to
for
do it.
Scar?
He just might not. Yeah, because I think I asked you that one day, and that was your theory. Is they probably did approach him, and he probably turned him down. He doesn't strike me as somebody that'd be into repeating himself.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I have to say, though, when it comes to voice actors and characters, I would say my favorite character voice has to be Frollo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and he was also the opening narrator for Treasure Planet. Dude, it's just that like how deep his voice goes, and there's that he has like that bit of almost a vibrato to his voice. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Abby says, "Wow, Aaron, this is more like sculpting than drawing. That cat is popping off of that paper."
Ah, good. Well, I'm getting to where I'm going to start wrapping up. I'm going to start drawing these spots a little bit lighter and a little bit lighter. Let them fade off a little bit. I'll probably go back in and do more at a later date. We're probably getting close to 3 hours.
Yeah, it's 2.5. It's not even 2.5 yet. It's
It's
3:23.
currently 3:23.
Because I want to hit some of the grasses too.
Hit that grass.
All right.
All right.
Hey man, you got any weed?
Be a lot cooler if you did. Miss Schottenberg, think that'd be a good opportunity for me to take my shirt off.
James Marsden. Did we say that I auditioned him too?
No,
James
you didn't
Marsden?
say that.
Yeah, I auditioned James Marsden for Kenai.
I could see that.
Who's James Marsden again?
He's the
Cyclops.
Cyclops and X-Men. He's the main guy
Oh,
in
yeah,
Sonic,
yeah.
Sonic the Hedgehog. And
Yeah, that's right.
He's super nice.
Oh, is he?
Talk about a nice guy.
I always worried about because like
That
I
guy
don't
is
know
such
why,
a nice
but I always
guy.
got like the kind of opposite vibes. I don't know if it's just because of his.
Now,
the way
when
looks
he
or-
auditioned for us, he hadn't done X-Men yet or any of that. I think he was still a soap opera star.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
yeah, whenever I see interviews with him, he's super down to earth.
super nice guy.
Oh, that's awesome.
But I saw him recently, and he was doing impersonations of what you were just doing.
Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, McConaughey.
Oh, that's awesome.
And he was doing it perfect. It was really just he was talking about getting the Texas accent right, and that once you can get that right, then you can do anything.
Whose idea was it to cast Robin Williams to voice the genie in Aladdin?
That I don't know, but whoever did it was genius. I have a feeling that was Ron and John's idea because I think they wrote the character for him. So obviously, so much of it wasn't written. It was just Robin Williams riffing and them using it.
I wish I could have met him.
He was a super nice dude. I just met him for that one afternoon, but it was pretty
sure-
magical.
I'm sure that one afternoon was worth it.
Yeah.
Like, is it true that like he was constantly that he constantly cracks jokes whether on or off stage?
Yeah.
Did Joaquin and Jeremy do their voice acting together on Brother Bear?
We only did one day together. All the rest of the time was separate.
And that was all mostly for promotional, right?
Yeah, it was definitely just for promotional. We rarely ever record characters together. The only time we consistently recorded characters together was with Rick and Dave. We always recorded them together.
Because they were riffing on each other.
But
Yep,
wasn't
yep.
the one scene where he's talking about the biggest pine cone ever? Was that the one scene where they did it together?
Yeah, exactly. Because Joaquin screwed up his lines and Jeremy corrected him on the spot, but he did it as part of the delivery.
And that's when you're like, okay, that's the line.
Yeah.
YouTube comment. Just draw some pants on him already and call it a day. Rest your hands, Aaron.
Yeah, the one line and one shot that or one scene that my sister Austin and I always crack jokes about is the I Spy when Rhett and Took are laying out on the back of the mammoth. I spy something tall. Tree. Ah, dang. I spy a vertical log.
I remember when we wrote that. It was so much fun.
Any advice on resources for learning how to write?
Yes. There's several books that I really recommend. The first one being Story. The name of the book is Story by Robert McKee. Now, this is writing for film. So, if you're talking about writing in general, no. This is script writing that I'm talking about. And so the first one is Story by Robert McKee, and it really does talk about script structure, story structure, the 3-act play, all of that. And then the other one is Save the Cat by Blake Snyder. That one to me is probably one of the best ones and most practical and useful. I really used that book a lot when I was learning to write. And then actually Blake Snyder had 2 books out, on Save the Cat and another one after that. I can't remember what it was called.
Save the Cat Strikes Back.
Oh, Save the Cat Strikes Back. There you go.
We also have a story course on our website with Chuck Williams, and he sort of, if you're a visual learner, takes a lot of those principles and applies them into a video course. He's got his own ideas as well, not just pulled from those books, but he references those books quite a bit. I'll post the link in the comments.
Abby Lee said my favorite Brother Bear line was the code duh. Although my
Go duh.
code duh. Although my friend Kota is not a fan when I recite that to her. Are you sure your mom didn't just ditch you? Code duh.
Someone asked why characters are rarely recorded together. That's just so you can get clean audio, right?
Well, it's not just that. It's scheduling. You got to remember these movies take 4 years when you're in production from the time we start recording to the time that we're done recording. A lot of times it's about 3 to 4 years.
Oh.
And so it's just hard to get anybody in the room at the same time because people are off making other movies.
It's
and
gotten really blown out all of a sudden. Like, see all that sunlight?
Oh, the sunlight. Holy cow.
Yeah, it's whitening out that whole left side there.
Oh, shoot. Is there yeah, because the sun has moved.
We need a curtain.
We need a curtain is what we need.
curtain.
Yeah. I can just move this over too.
Yeah, if you slide it to the right, you should be okay. That's not going to do it.
I'm trying.
Slide over about.
Keep going.
There's a lag, so I can't tell.
Can I go further, Dustin?
Huh?
Can I go further than
Yeah, a
this?
little further.
Just getting the shadows much.
Yeah, Nick.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
I mean, you're still hot on that one side.
I've also been told I'm hot on one side.
Yeah.
Now I'm just fat on both sides. Bang, bang, da-da-da-da.
Maybe we should try lowering the exposure a little bit, or
We're about to wrap up.
Yeah.
Here comes the sun. Do-do-do-do.
Here comes the sun. Do-do-do.
It's just blowing
Here
everything up.
comes the sun. I say it's alright.
No way
here
we can
comes the
monetize
copy.
it. No way we can monetize this stream now. Beatles don't play around.
Like the moment you say a single Beatle phrase, it's just immediately demonetized.
Question: where do you think you would be if you weren't chosen as one of the 8 interns for Disney to do animation and illustration?
Maybe Hallmark Cards, because I was going to interview with Hallmark Cards as well.
And did mom used to work at like a magazine place?
Yeah, actually, your mother and I were dating at the time, so and she was offered a art direction job, so we may have ended up in Chicago because that's where the job was.
So I remember, because I like barely remember like going into a building. It was like I think it was like a
Yeah, but that was here in Orlando. That's when she was doing freelance.
Oh, is that
Yeah.
because I remember like all the cubicles and everything?
Yeah, no, that was when she was doing freelance for Harcourt Brace Jovanovich. And oh, there you go. That's wicked schmat. We just have to put it up high. Is that gonna work? Actually, if you put the corner against here and just lean it into the window, will it stay?
Yeah, there's just a
There we go.
yep. Yeah, there's only like a triangular white spot in the corner, but it's nowhere near on the artwork, so we're good. Yeah,
Nice.
it's working great. Though, might I recommend us getting an actual blind down the road?
I want to get a couple of darker spots up here.
Did you see the trailer that I sent you for the new Beatles documentary?
I've seen it. I've seen the trailer before. I haven't watched
This is a new one.
I haven't watched that trailer yet. No, I didn't,
It looks-
because I was traveling at the time.
For
Yeah.
the what?
The new Peter Jackson Beatles documentary that's coming to Disney Plus.
Oh. Yeah, I think they showed a trailer for that last year. Did they?
This is a
Yeah,
new.
this is
This
a
is
new
new.
Yeah, it's a new
That
one.
was a way early sneak peek. This is like much more of a trailer.
Ooh. Yeah, did you ever get to watch the documentary about the what was it? The
About documentary making.
yeah, exactly, about documentary making. No, but it was the one on Hulu where it was the festival, the music festival that happened.
The festival that's best of all.
Oh,
That's an actual line from Brother Bear
oh,
from
that's right.
from the Salmon song.
No, but it was the music festival that happened during Woodstock. It was the
You mean Woodstock?
not Woodstock.
Woodstock was the music festival.
No, but there was another one that happened in
Monterey Pop.
Huh?
Monterey Pop. That's another big one.
Oh, it's God. What's the name of it? I'm losing my mind now.
Lollapalooza.
Hang on.
Meow, 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 meow. I think we'll go with that. Keeping it simple. Keep it tight.
Summer of Soul. That's it.
Oh, Summer of Soul. Wasn't that 1971? Was that the? Or no? Oh no, Summer of Soul was its own documentary. That's right.
Yeah, Summer of Soul is the documentary,
Right.
and it was about an event that happened in 1969. It was the Harlem Cultural Festival to celebrate Black history, culture, music, and fashion.
Oh, gotcha. I saw clips
God,
of
that
it. It
drove
looked
me nuts
awesome.
trying to figure out to try to remember.
Because you watched that, right?
I did, and I absolutely loved the documentary. It's definitely a must watch.
Yeah.
So you're saying we should watch it?
Yes. Yeah, because the festival actually happened during the moon landing.
Ah,
What are your thoughts on Bill Watterson's illustration style?
I think he's one of the best artists out there. He's definitely one of the best comic artists. But you can tell Bill Watterson is a classically trained artist.
Yep.
All you got to do is look at his dinosaurs.
His whole thing is amazing to me, that he just has never, he's refused to ever
Yep.
um,
Sell out.
sell the rights to Calvin and Hobbes, make a movie. I had always heard, and I don't know if this is true or not, that Dash's design in,
Oh, meant to be like Calvin?
well, yeah, they supposedly Pixar had actually approached Bill Watterson about doing a Calvin and Hobbes film, and he turned them down. But the Dash was sort of designed as a test to see how they could do Calvin.
Oh, man. Can you imagine Pixar doing Calvin and Hobbes?
That'd be amazing.
Why do the wildebeest need to migrate in Kenya and Tanzania during the dry season?
Because they're following the growth, the grasses. And if you ever have seen the lushness of the grasses in Kenya, you'd understand.
It sounded kind of cocky.
Yeah.
If you ever saw the lushness of the grass, you'd understand.
You'd understand, man.
I don't have time to explain it to you. No, it's really the Masai Mara is probably that's the densest area of wildlife, and the grasses there are so thick and they support all that biomass.
Yeah,
And-
even the Maasai tend to try to sneak their cattle into the Mara to so they can.
Well,
graze
that whole
on
eco,
grass.
yeah,
They're
no,
not sneaking. They're that's where they live.
that's where they
Well,
live.
yeah, but I mean into the national park area because.
Yeah,
No, they own that land. That's not a national park. That's the Maasai's.
But I thought
no, there's the Masai Mara National Reserve.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about.
Jorge said the Maasai actually own that reserve. It's not owned by the country.
yeah, that I'm sure. I'm just saying. I know that it's called the Masai
Yeah, no, I know,
Mara
but it's
National Reserve.
something about it's actually Maasai land or whatever, which is interesting. But I believe they're allowed to graze it.
I thought they get fined if they go in there. I think
Oh,
even
maybe I'm
Steven
wrong.
mentioned about that.
I don't know. I think we're just going to finish this up. That's close enough. I can chop it. We can.
Is Tanzania much better for safaris than Kenya?
No, not necessarily. They're all different. Every park is different. I love the Masai Mara because the wildlife is much more dense. I've been to other parks, and they all were nice, but nothing has ever been able to compare to the Masai Mara, in my opinion.
Yeah, everyone's.
Nothing
I have a feeling everyone's
compares.
going to lose their minds over how many different species that I got in these photos.
Nothing compares to you.
Abby says, "You guys are really going hard with the earworms today." To
We
which
are.
I say, "Baby shark, toot 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 toot."
Baby shark did.
Well,
Yeah, bastard.
Martin says it looks like Aaron will finish his drawing soon, so it's the final countdown.
He actually took the time to write out do 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 do.
It's a final countdown.
Do the grasses read on camera pretty good?
Very well.
I can't tell.
You're cutting off a little to the right now, obviously, but
Yeah. Do you want me to readjust the camera?
Yeah, yeah, Americans.
I think
Huh?
we're good.
I can just
That
move it over.
sunspot's coming back in.
I know the spot's coming in, but
It's being
let's
very
pull it over here a little
sneaky.
bit. All right.
Have you ever experienced a stampede? And if so, is the Lion King scene accurate?
Nah, well, you don't really have big canyons like they did in the Lion King. Those kinds of things don't. No,
I don't
No.
think we really.
no,
experienced-
there might be other areas that have stuff like that.
Oh, stampedes absolutely happen though.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
And that
just not to that extent. I mean, we saw a good chunk of the herd run just to catch up to the rest of the herd.
yeah.
But as far as like the entire herd running like they did in Lion King, I don't think so.
Aaron, do you have any weaknesses that you're still working on?
Yeah. Stomach strength. Hands. You know, I always talking about anatomy and hands. Hands are still my kryptonite. Of all the parts of the human body that I struggle with, I still struggle with hands, and something I try to focus on to get better at.
Why do I have the feeling that like the hands is the most common kryptonite to a lot of our.
It's just hard. They're just hard. But I see other guys that draw them, and it blows my mind. All right.
Seems like a very specific question. Do you know any animators that started in their late 20s with zero art background and did really good in a short period of time?
To be honest, no, not at that age, but doesn't mean it's not. Doesn't mean it's impossible.
I mean, there's certainly animators that work at all ages, so.
Oh yeah,
But getting good in a short period of time is tricky at anything.
yeah. Well, there you have it. I'm not even going to do one more thing. Am I lined up? Close enough?
A little more to the left.
Ba-da-da-da-da. Ba-da-da-da.
There you go.
So there's our leopard done in charcoal. You got to be careful when you blow on it. Don't spit.
And
I've done
Hans
that.
asks, who? I completely butchered it. Martin asks, who is Hans and why is he so difficult to draw?
Hans.
Hans.
Yes, Hans.
Hans.
Hans Gruber.
Hans Gruber. See,
But,
Hans is so hard to draw.
So once again, I'm going to remind you, we got a couple sales going on over at creatureartteacher.com. We've got my ink course for Inktober is currently 30% off, and our all of our animal drawing courses are also 30% off. Look, I'm doing one more thing.
One more thing.
One more thing.
And someone's asking, or Abby was asking, I know you're about to wrap up, but how do you go about fixing and storing something like this? Which you addressed earlier, and the answer is you don't use any.
I don't
fixatives.
use any fixatives. I just pick it up and put it in a flat file, and then when I get a chance, I get it under glass, but I do not spray it because spraying it will change it. So that's my secret.
I'm just glad you got one more thing in there because it was going to be almost oddly disappointing. if you didn't. By the way, the live stream bingo cards are coming soon with the phrases and catchphrases. Is what Aaron says.
There you go.
You can use play bingo, or if you're of age, you can make it a drinking game. It's up to
Yep, Cards Against Humanity Creature Art Teacher version.
you. Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
There we go. All right. So hope you guys had a good time today. Anytime I get to get a drawing done, I feel great. So this is awesome. Go on out there and have a great weekend, you guys. Be safe, and we will talk to you next week. Put some beauty back in the world. Put your grocery cart away. I haven't reminded you to do that in a while. I've been seeing a lot of idiots not doing it. And I always go out there and I yell at them. and then they just flip me off and walk away anyway. But
Jerks.
I know. But I hope you guys have a great week. Put some beauty back in the world. That's what we do as artists. Make someone's life better. And I will talk to you next time. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Cowboy Bebop.
CreatureArtTeacher.com.
Photo packs. Go get them.